On a quiet Halloween morning in rural Ohio, what seemed like a typical day for the Lisk family quickly unraveled into a nightmare. Behind the peaceful facade of their home, a series of horrifying events unfolded, leaving 3 family members dead and 1 man as the prime suspect. The Lisk family lived in the northern suburbs of Toledo, Ohio. A blended family of 5. They consisted of 53-year-old Bill Lisk, his wife Susan, aged 48, and their 3 children, Devin, Derek, and William. Devin and Derek were Susan's sons from a previous marriage, while William was Bill's son from his first marriage. They appeared to live a peaceful rural life on acres of land near Lake Erie, enjoying outdoor activities like hunting and fishing together. However, this seemingly normal family was hiding a deeply troubling reality. William, Bill's son, had always been a difficult child. His behavior escalated as he aged, becoming increasingly disruptive and violent. From a young age, William showed signs of a turbulent personality. He bullied other children and frequently got into trouble. His father, Bill, initially dismissed these behaviors, believing William would eventually outgrow them. Unfortunately, he didn't. By age 15, William's troublesome behavior had worsened to the point of several run-ins with the law. His father's marriage to Susan in 2001 only made things worse. William resented Susan's presence in the house, particularly the strict rules she introduced. This tension turned into open defiance, and William's actions became increasingly aggressive. In 2002, he threatened to harm himself during an incident that escalated into physical violence when police arrived. By 16, he had been charged with assault after attacking Susan in their home. William's behavior spiraled further in the coming years. Diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, he was deemed unfit for trial and avoided prison. But this didn't calm his volatile tendencies. His relationship with Susan grew even more strained, eventually leading Bill to make the difficult decision to place William in a psychiatric group home near Lake Erie. Despite this, William continued to pose a danger to those around him. Violent outbursts and encounters with law enforcement became regular occurrences. By 2004, William's aggressive tendencies reached new heights. During one chilling incident, he attacked Susan while she was in the shower. Although she managed to fend him off, the emotional toll was too much. Bill made the heartbreaking decision to expel his son from the family home, fearing for everyone's safety. William continued to receive sporadic treatment for his disorder, but his condition remained largely untreated. His refusal to take medication made matters worse. To escape his demons, William turned to alcohol and drugs, creating a toxic mix that further destabilized his mental state. In an effort to maintain some semblance of family ties, Bill took William on hunting trips to their cabin in Carroll County, Ohio. These trips were meant to ease tensions and give William time away from the rest of the family. But the temporary relief these outings provided did nothing to address the growing danger he posed. Over the years, William's unpredictable behavior led neighbors to suspect him of violent tendencies, particularly after a family's pet dog was shot. Though there was no proof, the community began to grow uneasy around him. Despite these warning signs, Bill remained steadfast in his commitment to helping his troubled son. Then came Halloween morning, 2010. Bill's stepson, Devin, just 16 years old, returned home from his biological father's house around 9:30 a.m. As he entered, he noticed William in the living room, an unusual sight since William no longer lived at the house. The two exchanged small talk, with William oddly curious about where Devin was headed and how long he'd be gone. Unsettled by this unusual friendliness, Devin shrugged off the conversation and left for church. Several hours later, when Devin returned home, the house was eerily quiet. Assuming his parents had overslept, he went to their bedroom and discovered something that would haunt him forever. His mother, Susan, was lying in bed with her legs hanging off the edge, a pillow stained with blood beneath her head. At first, Devin thought it might be a prank, but the horrifying truth soon set in. His family had been brutally murdered. Panicked, Devin ran from the house and called his aunt, Lori. When police arrived, they found a gruesome scene. Bill and Susan had been shot in their sleep. Bill's body lay undisturbed, but Susan had suffered multiple gunshot wounds to the head, and forensic evidence suggested she had been moved after death. More disturbingly, Susan had also been sexually assaulted post-mortem. In another room, police found Derek, the 23-year-old son, also dead. He had been bludgeoned with a hammer while lying in his bed. It became clear that the family had been killed in their sleep, starting with Derek, followed by Bill and Susan. William, now the prime suspect, had been staying at the house the night before. He had recently returned from a hunting trip with his father, and although he was no longer welcome in the house, his parents had allowed him to stay after a Halloween party. That decision would prove fatal. Following the murders, William fled in the family's white truck, which was quickly reported missing. Investigators tracked him down to the family's hunting cabin just hours after the killings. When police arrived, they found William sitting calmly on the porch, smoking a cigarette. He was arrested without incident. William was initially charged with a single count of murder. While the investigation continued, evidence pointed directly to him: the muddy footprints around the house, the missing truck, and the fact that he had been staying at the house that night. His history of violence, mental illness, and deep resentment towards Susan made him the prime suspect from the start. William pleaded not guilty, with his defense attorney entering an insanity plea on his behalf. The prosecution, however, sought to prove that William was competent to stand trial, despite his mental health issues. Following a 30-day evaluation, William was found fit for trial. To avoid the death penalty, William eventually changed his plea to guilty. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. During his sentencing, William expressed remorse for his actions, blaming Satan and his untreated mental illness for the horrific events that had unfolded. In the end, despite Bill's unwavering love and efforts to help his son, William's untreated mental illness and violent tendencies claimed the lives of his father, stepmother, and stepbrother. That concludes the chilling story of the Lisk family. If you want more true crime content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We've got more gripping cases coming your way. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.